Hi there, my name's Simon Keats. I'm from Origin Effects, and I'm here with Johnny Hiland and Carter's Vintage Guitar in Nashville. And it's great to be here.
Well, buddy, it's great to finally meet you, Simon.
Yes,
it's a pleasure,
so
buddy.
Fantastic. So, how long have you had your Cali 76 for? I was trying to remember.
A couple of years at least, buddy. And I swear, man, as I've told you, I've been in the search for the right compressor for years and years. And as we know, there are some great ones on the market out there. However, when the Cali 76, when I reached out to you guys and I heard the first video and I said, I need to try your pedal, and you guys were kind enough to send them to me, man, I've been sold ever since. And I've turned every chicken picker I can onto a Cali 76 because of the level of there's nothing better out there. I mean, it's an 1176 and a small pedal that you can have on your pedal board at all times. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant. The quality and craftsmanship, it's built like a tank. It just sounds great. I mean, to me, there's just, who would have ever thought that you could have put an 1176 in a stomp box, man, and had it at your feet all the time.
Well, I'm just really thrilled to hear you say that it's great that you actually are using it.
Oh, I love it, man. Truly love it.
That it's a big part of your sound now.
It really is. And actually, my brand new record, which I meant to bring you a copy of, it's on the front cover.
Really?
Yeah, because it is such a part of my sound, man.
Wow.
It really is. And so I'm just so grateful to Origin Effects and, for you guys creating such an amazing pedal, man. It's just awesome.
Well, makes me very happy to hear that. Thank you very much.
Well, it's my pleasure, man.
So the setting that you used is actually the setting in the manual?
Yeah, it's funny, Simon. I must say, buddy, I'm a legally blind guy, so I'm not the type of guy to look down and see the names of the knobs and what they do. So I really base a pedal on what I hear. And it was funny, though, because with the Cali 76, most compressors do not have 6 knobs, right?
Uh-huh.
And so I was a little bit overwhelmed, and and I was thinking, oh my goodness, how am I going to set this thing, right? But the way you guys laid out the booklet was very user-friendly, and on top of that, it gave some settings that you might try, that you might like. And so I went through all of them, and I kept going back to the percussive one. Yeah. And as I went to different live shows or went to to different studios around town, the percussive one just stayed with me. And so, yes, folks, I get the tone of my Cali 76 right out of the booklet. It's the very first one that they list, and yes, I'm very proud of it.
So I think we definitely need to hear that.
Oh yeah, let's give them an example of that. So there is the nice, tight percussive sound in the Cali 76. But one thing I think is important to mention, Simon, is the way you have a blend control from dry to wet with the compressor. I think that's one of the most important things in compressors in today's market, is to have that blendability from your normal amp sound to full-on compression or anywhere in between.
Yeah. So I mean, it's referred to as parallel compression in the studio,
Absolutely,
isn't it?
Yeah.
And what it means is that you can set quite a heavy amount of compression, and rather than losing all the kind of life out of
you just blend your amp back into it.
Yeah, you can blend the dry in, and it just means that if you hit a chord really hard, that rather than it being all the life being squashed out of it, you could still retain some of those louder dynamics.
Absolutely, man.
And so it's just another way of getting the compressor to be more transparent.
Well, and I think the other thing you guys did that was great too was you added it on the top left. So even a blind guy like myself, if I went from playing really fast chicken picking to to playing a blues tune and cranking up a dirt box with it. You know, you could actually use the blend knob to add a little more or a little less if you kick on a dirt box. And I found that even by using distortion pedals and overdrives, the Cali 76 just handled it so well, man. It was it's really seamless. You don't need to touch it on stage, but yet in the studio you have all the control that you would ever need to get the perfect sound in the studio. So it's certainly a compressor that's going to give you the best of both worlds, live or in the studio.
So do you use it to kind of, you'll stack it with your overdrive?
Oh, very much so.
So that you can get more, you push the overdrive harder, or?
You know, buddy, I'll be honest, I leave it on all the time.
Oh, right.
It never shuts. That's the one pedal on my board that never shuts off. It's
right.
Always on.
That's funny. That's a lot of people. That's almost become a tagline of ours. Always on.
It's always on. Just
yeah. What
some guys say, well, you know, sometimes compression doesn't sound good with certain dirt boxes. You know, I guess you could say that about, you know, some guys will say that about stacking 2 overdrives. It's the same thing with adding compression. It's a taste thing. But for me as a chicken picker and you know, I guess, you know, people would say I'm kind of a well-rounded player in many different genres. So, but to be frankly honest, man, I leave it on all the time. I rely on it all night long.
So let's dial in a slightly harder compression, let's have a bit more ratio.
Sure.
Maybe slow it down a bit more release, so that it's averaging out like a musical passage rather than responding to each note individually.
Sure, maybe I'll play some looser chord kind of things, chordal things, and just let people hear some chordal overtones and stuff that the compressor will really help boost for you.
Cool.
You know, and level out all the notes and make them sound.
And we'll blend in the dry as well.
Yeah.
So that people can hear when you kind of dig into a chord that the dynamics are still coming through.
Well, you know, one thing I want to add too, Simon, is that most people that come from the old school way of playing like I do, they always say you find a great guitar and a great amp, and then that tone, when you add pedals, it's like adding frosting on a birthday cake, right? So I literally think of pedals in that regard. But folks, still, you add the Cali 76, and I leave it on all the time because it just adds that thing that I can't quite explain, but it just makes your tone absolutely that much better. And I look forward to playing, man. When I put the Cali 76 on my board, it made me want to play more. It really inspired me. So
that's brilliant.
I look forward to everybody watching to hear this thing and check it out for themselves.
Cool. Right.
You don't know what you're missing.
Let's give it a go. So thank you to Carter's for having us here, and thank you so much, Johnny.
Oh, Simon, it's my pleasure, buddy. I thank you guys from Origin Effects so much. You've taken such great care of me, and my friend, it's an honor to turn guitar players onto such amazing compression pedals as what you guys do. So I'm encouraging all guitar players that are watching this video, I don't care what genre of music you play, you need to try the Cali 76 Deluxe. It will blow your mind. It's in a lot smaller package. It has the same great tone, and it will bring that wow factor to any pedal board. So, and if you don't trust me, you can call me on the phone or email me via my website, and I'll fill you in real well.
That's very cool.
Hey man, thanks again for having me, buddy.